Welcome back to the channel. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Today's story is about a mother who sacrificed everything for her daughter, only to discover that when the most important day arrived, she wasn't welcome. Let's begin. I became a mother at 22. The day my daughter Emma was born, I looked into her tiny eyes and promised myself one thing. No matter what happened, I would always be there for her. Life wasn't easy. When Emma was only 3 years old, her father walked out of our lives. One day he was there, the next day he was gone. Suddenly, I found myself raising a child completely alone. There were nights when I cried after Emma fell asleep, not because I regretted becoming a mother, but because I didn't know how I was going to provide for her. I worked wherever I could. Restaurants, cleaning jobs, retail stores, sometimes 2 jobs at the same time. Every dollar I earned went toward Emma's future. While other parents bought themselves new clothes, I bought school supplies. While others went on vacation, I worked extra shifts. And honestly, I would do it all again, because every sacrifice felt worth it when I saw my daughter smile. Years passed. Emma grew into a smart, kind, ambitious young woman, the kind of daughter every parent dreams of having. When she graduated from university, I cried harder than she did. As she walked across the stage to receive her diploma, I felt proud of every struggle we had survived together. That day I thought to myself, we made it. Little did I know, my biggest heartbreak was still ahead of me. A year later, Emma called me with exciting news. "Mom, I'm engaged." I screamed so loudly that she started laughing. For weeks, I couldn't stop smiling. I imagined helping her choose a wedding dress, walking beside her before the ceremony, watching her start a beautiful new chapter. But slowly, something began to change. Emma became distant. Our phone calls became shorter. She stopped sharing details about the wedding. Whenever I asked questions, she quickly changed the subject. At first, I blamed stress. Planning a wedding isn't easy, but deep inside, something felt wrong. One afternoon, Emma asked if we could meet for coffee. When I arrived, she already looked nervous. She couldn't look me in the eye. My stomach tightened immediately. I knew something wasn't right. After several minutes of awkward silence, she finally spoke. "Mom, there's something I need to tell you." I smiled. "What is it?" Tears filled her eyes. Then she said words I never imagined hearing. "Mom, I don't think you should come to the wedding." For a moment, I thought I had misunderstood. I stared at her. "What did you say?" Emma looked down at the table. Then she repeated it. And my heart broke. Right there in the middle of that coffee shop. The daughter I had spent my entire life protecting was asking me not to attend her wedding. But the reason hurt even more than the request itself. Emma explained that Ryan's family came from wealth. His parents cared deeply about status and appearances. They believed my background would embarrass them. A divorced mother, a former waitress, a woman who spent years struggling financially. According to them, I didn't fit the image they wanted for their perfect wedding. And instead of defending me, my daughter stayed silent. I felt like the ground disappeared beneath my feet. For days after that conversation, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I replayed every word in my head. Every sacrifice, every birthday, every school event, every moment I had stood beside Emma when nobody else did. And somehow, none of it had been enough. The wedding was only 3 weeks away. Friends kept asking if I was excited. I forced smiles. I pretended everything was fine. But inside, I felt completely broken. Then the wedding day arrived. The house was silent. For years, I had imagined this day. I imagined helping Emma into her dress, taking photographs together, watching her walk down the aisle. Instead, I sat alone in my living room. On the coffee table rested an old photo album. I opened it slowly. There was Emma as a baby. Emma's first day of school. Emma riding a bicycle. Emma graduating. Page after page of memories. I cried harder than I had in years. not because I wasn't at the wedding, but because I felt like I had lost my daughter. Meanwhile, the wedding itself was everything Ryan's parents had wanted. Luxury decorations, expensive flowers, elegant guests, perfect photographs. Everything looked flawless, at least from the outside. Months passed. I barely spoke to Emma. When she called, conversations felt awkward, painful, forced. Then something unexpected happened. One evening, Emma visited Ryan's parents for dinner. During the meal, she stepped away to find the restroom. As she walked down the hallway, she overheard a conversation. Ryan's mother was speaking to a friend, laughing, mocking, talking about the wedding. Then Emma heard her say, "Thankfully, we convinced her not to bring that mother of hers." The room erupted with laughter. Emma froze. Ryan's mother continued, "Can you imagine how embarrassing that would have been?" Emma felt sick. For the first time, she realized something. She hadn't protected peace. She hadn't avoided conflict. She had betrayed the one person who had loved her unconditionally. And the people she had tried so hard to impress never respected her mother in the first place. That night, Emma cried herself to sleep. The guilt became unbearable. Weeks turned into months. The regret only grew stronger. Every time she remembered my face in that coffee shop, her heart broke a little more. One afternoon, my phone rang. It was Emma. I almost didn't answer. When I did, neither of us spoke for several seconds. Finally, she whispered, "Mom, I'm sorry." I closed my eyes. For a moment, I couldn't speak. Then tears began rolling down my cheeks. Emma cried too. I made the biggest mistake of my life. She told me everything. The comments, the pressure, the fear of upsetting Ryan's family, and the shame she now felt. For the first time in a long time, I heard my daughter again. Not the stressed bride, not the frightened woman trying to please everyone. My daughter, the little girl I had raised. A few months later, Emma invited me to a family gathering. She said it was important. When I arrived, dozens of people were there. Friends, relatives, neighbors, even Ryan. I had no idea why everyone was gathered. Then Emma stepped forward, holding a microphone. The room became silent. She looked directly at me. Tears filled her eyes. "Before we begin, there's something I need to say." Everyone watched. Emma took a deep breath. Then she told the entire room what she had done. She told them how I raised her alone, how I worked multiple jobs, how I sacrificed everything to give her opportunities, how I never stopped believing in her. Then she admitted how badly she had failed me. The room was silent. Many people were crying, including me. Finally, Emma walked toward me. Her voice trembled. "Mom, I spent one day trying to impress people who didn't truly care about me." She paused, then continued. "And in the process, I hurt the one person who always did." At that moment, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Emma hugged me, and for the first time in over a year, I felt the weight in my heart begin to disappear. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need an apology in front of everyone. What I needed was my daughter back. And standing there in my arms, I knew she had found her way home. The lesson of this story is simple. Never be ashamed of the people who sacrificed for you. The people who stand beside you when you have nothing are often the same people who will stand beside you when you have everything. Status fades, money comes and goes, but love, loyalty, and gratitude are priceless. Thank you for listening to today's story. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, never forget the people who helped you become who you are today. Until next time, take care.